the Social Distance Book Fest was so much fun. If you haven't seen my panel, I will leave it linked up here if you haven't had a chance to watch it yet, because I so enjoyed hosting a panel on this channel. I will also leave the entire playlist of the day, because you can rewatch or catch up on any missed panels down below, and I will also leave it linked up here at some point. This is the After Social Distance Book Fest tag. Welcome back. If you are new here, my name is Katrina and I make bookish content here on this channel. You'll get bookish videos from me at least twice a week, and generally a movie or book to movie video at the weekend. And I was one of the organizers, along with Beautifully Bookish Bethany, who created this tag of the Social Distance Book Fest, and I was also a host of one of the panels, and so I'm excited to do this After Social Distance Book Fest tag to kind of wrap up and reflect and think about panels that I saw and enjoyed. If you can believe it, there are still, as I'm filming this video, a couple of panels I need to catch up on, because I was moderating comments in some panels, I was hosting, and generally involved in some things. And if you haven't already watched the wrap up video that we did a live show wrap up looking at some of the stats just on the day. I'm just mind blown by everything that we achieved and all the lovely comments that people left during that panel. So highly recommend watching that one. It might come up as one of my answers to this tag video. So question number one, a new author / book you now want to check out. This links in with my answer to question number 8 about how many books I bought and requested from my library. But in terms of books I bought, I ordered Best Laid Plans by Cameron Lund. She was on a panel with Isabella about contemporary young adult fiction. I can't remember the name of the thing. I will pop it in here. And she made her book sound so much fun. And actually all of the authors on that panel, they all write things that I read, and so I'm interested in all of those, and did look at which ones my library had, and that's why I decided to order Best Laid Plans. But yes, that is definitely a new author / book I want to check out. Question number 2, most entertaining panel. I mean, I think that my panel was quite entertaining. We had some laughs, and we also had some we also had some tears, and we had some reflective moments. So I enjoyed my panel, obviously, and for me it was very entertaining and went so quickly. But I also really enjoyed hearing the discussion on the Sherlock Holmes panel that was thrillers and different genres of thrillers. I think it was really entertaining because all of the authors had different backgrounds, and they all kind of bounced off each other really well. There was some laughs in that panel as well, and I really enjoyed watching that one. As I say, there are still a couple that I haven't watched, but that was the most entertaining that I enjoyed. Then we have most interesting or insightful panel. Definitely hands down for me, and Bethany kind of also touched on this in her video, was the tackling consent, gender and toxic masculinity panel. The discussion on that panel, I felt privileged to watch this discussion, and I've been telling everybody to go and watch that one, and I feel like publishers need to watch this one to know what readers and writers want to kind of move on from in terms of consent, gender, toxic masculinity in romance and in contemporary women's fiction and in just the whole that area of the bookshop. And it was just so interesting, and they had so many points to make. I was tweeting about it as it was going on as well. It was just so great. Highly recommend that panel. Question number 4, softest or sweetest panel. Again, Bethany mentioned this one. The BookTube panel, I think it was on at the same time as another panel that I was watching, and so I was just watching the comments, and oh my goodness, it was just so sweet and so lovely, and definitely one I want to revisit watching from start to finish. Such an interesting mix of people on the panel as well. Like, I just think that when we were getting together creators and authors for this festival, the fact that we got so many people from so many different corners of the world and corners of the internet to work on it and be involved in it and host meetups and come to the meetups and attend the panels and be on the panels, just so cool. But all the love on that panel was just so sweet and so feel good, and people were talking about it during our wrap-up panel as well, and it was just so lovely. I mean, our wrap-up panel was pretty sweet as well. We were also pumped and also tired at the same time, so I enjoyed that one. An author you would want to be friends with. Obviously, I really enjoyed getting to know the authors on my panel. I really, enjoyed reading their books, and I enjoyed communicating with them before and during the festival. But I also really enjoyed watching and listening to and had a bit of communication with before Claire Legrand. I have featured her books on my blog, but I've not interacted with her. I met her very briefly at my first book con, and she seemed very sweet and lovely, but interacting with her a little more over the course of the festival and then watching her panel, I would love to be friends with Claire Legrand. She seems fabulous and just so sweet and so lovely. So there's my pick for that question. Not that I wouldn't want to be friends with like everybody else in the book fest. Like, it was introduced me to authors and booktubers that I hadn't previously had on my radar, and just I think it added to everybody's TBR, let's face it. Then an author you want to hear more from. This, I promise this isn't just a big plug for my panel, but an author I want to hear more from. On my panel, we broke the fact that The Year of Witching has a sequel coming out. The Year of Witching I read in the month of April, so I talk about that in my April wrap up, and it's definitely out of my comfort zone, but I really enjoyed it, and I'm so here for a book 2, and so I want to hear more from Alexis Henderson because I'm excited to read book 2. Definitely. Something that surprised you. I mean, just the number of people, like I say, that wrap-up panel, the number of people that watched on the day, the number of people who left comments, the number of people who contacted us on social media, on Instagram, on Twitter, on the website, all the people who ordered the books, all the people who were commenting on the videos, like, it was just, it didn't surprise me. I knew it was going to be a success, but it just blew my mind seeing people commenting from, oh, hi from Brazil, hi from Israel, hi from Germany. I know I had a friend watching in India, I had friends watching in Scotland, I had friends watching in other states, I had friends watching here in Denver. Like, that was so cool. And just, like I say, it didn't surprise me, but it's just, whoo, amazing and happy surprises. And yeah, a little bit on the mind blown side. Then, how many books did you buy, request from the library, or add on Goodreads? So obviously, I ordered that book from bookshop.org. I had read quite a few of the books. Obviously, I'd read all the books on my panel, and 3 of those I got from my library, so that's very cool. And then the Tackling Consent, Gender and Toxic Masculinity, Miranda Dickinson was on that panel, Julie Cohen was on that panel. Obviously, I've read all of their books already, but I'm excited to see the US cover of Miranda's book as well. It looks really cool. And then going back to that Sherlock Holmes mystery thriller panel, I really enjoyed hearing Grady Hendrix talk, and I didn't realize that he was the author who wrote the Horror Store IKEA catalogue spin-off horror book, and so I'm interested in checking him out. So I'm going to see what my library has of his, and then the panel that I mentioned that Isabella hosted with the contemporary YA, I have checked which my library has of those, but basically I'm kind of interested in picking up so many of these, and I'm lucky that my library is very good at having new titles on Overdrive and Hoopla, and to borrow on ebook as well. So yes, plenty, too many to count, and I basically added everything on Goodreads, let's face it. And then finally, question number 9, what was your experience like and would you attend again in the future? I think obviously the answer to this one is yes. My experience was just an overarching experience of joy, overarching joy. Under that, we've got like excitement, a little bit of nerves, because obviously I was hosting a panel and then I was on the wrap-up panel and I was kind of helping make sure everything was running smoothly, so it was a little bit like nervous anxiety in there. And then also by the time we got to 8:30 p.m, the end of that wrap-up panel, that you can see in that panel, it's tiredness, because I'd literally been on a computer either looking at the comments, watching a panel, hosting a panel, talking to other fest organizers since 7 in the morning. So overarching joy with like excitement, tiredness and nervousness in there. And yes, I would attend again in the future, and I hope to be part of the organization team in the future as well. And just joy. So like I say, if you missed any of the panels, check out that playlist. It's just, yeah, so much fun. I still have a couple of panels to catch up on. Those meetups were amazing as well. I really hope we include those in future fests as well. And if you haven't watched Bethany's video, she has a special announcement about how we are moving forward as a team with similar events in the future. I'm not going to steal her thunder on that one. Go away and watch her video. I'll leave it linked up above. For that exciting announcement, make sure you are following Social Distance Book Fest on social media. I will of course share on my socials, which are always linked in the description box. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you enjoyed about the festival. I will be back with more bookish content for you very soon. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe so that you don't miss that content coming your way, and I will be back with another video very soon.